Welcome to the Deal Champs podcast. We have a very special guest on today. Real quick, my name is Stratton Brown, aka Strat Daddy. I have a 7-figure real estate portfolio. We own a virtual assistant company that helps small businesses scale. And I got started in real estate from playing college football with absolutely zero life skills. And then now I've transitioned that to build a 7-figure real estate portfolio and then 2 other 7-figure businesses. Our goal here, and we don't have the master of hair with us today. He's somewhere doing it must be nice things at the Ritz-Carlton. But our goal today is to make sure you guys are able to implement all of these tactics and strategies that we go over into your business. And today's guest is going to be awesome. We have with us today Captain America, Mr. Dean Rogers.
What's up, guys? You're the co-host here, Dean Rogers. For those of you who don't know, I started my career in the NFL and transitioned from the NFL to then corporate and then to real estate. Been investing in real estate for the past 10 years now in Central California. We've done over 600 deals and have a rental portfolio of almost $10 million. Been coaching coaching students on the wholesaling playbook, and you guys can always connect with me at deanrogers.com.
And now we have the master of land, the hive mind ninja, Mr. Anthony. Anthony, how do I even say your last name?
Gaona, yeah.
Got it. There we go, bro.
Got it. First try. What's that? Okay, introduce. Yeah. I'm a general contractor from San Antonio, Texas. I grew up in that business since I was 12. Went on to do, giant roofing projects, commercial roofing, $500,000, $1 million roofs. And I was looking to buy some land for my family for us to build a house on. Came across the term wholesaling on YouTube, and bam, we're off to the races, man. I made like $85K on one of my first land deals, and I immediately lost focus on flipping and remodels and that stuff and stuck with land as a niche. And now we're looking to scale this bad boy.
And just to keep everybody like really enticed, Anthony should be having $1 million month this month, and his biggest deal is $433,000. He has another, is it 200-acre deal that's being entitled currently?
Yep, 243 right now.
243-acre deal. And then I met Anthony through his partner Daniel way back when I first got started in real estate. Me and Daniel were both part of Steve Trang's mastermind.
Yeah, dude. That's cool. That's awesome. I didn't know you were in there with them too.
Yeah, it was like me, Daniel. There was a bunch of us. JR, you're from San Antonio, right?
Yeah.
JR, that's where we met JR too.
Hernandez?
Yeah.
Oh, cool, man. Okay, I didn't know he was over there too in that same group.
Yeah, so we met JR too. So there's a bunch of us. But bro, tell us what your first year in real estate looked like and how that transition went of transitioning from being in the blue collar space into like wholesaling houses.
Dude, so I always say I cheated, right? Jokingly, because I've already been doing marketing for like 15 years with my construction company. So I'm running this multi-million-dollar roofing company with just my cell phone. I had no warehouses, no trucks, no trailers, no equipment, and no employees, right? So I would generate the leads. I would meet the insurance company, sue them, get the money for the clients, and then I would just sub it out to a third-party roofing company, right? So I was already wholesaling construction leads. So I think it's in December, like mid-December. I think it was like 2018. I'm on looking on researching how to buy land for cheap is exactly what I typed into YouTube. And I launched my first marketing campaign by like January 1 of 2019. And I spent like $30,000 immediately on everything. Google pay-per-click. I pulled 500,000 records for my first pull ever. Started the RVM, that whole thing. I was getting trained by a guy named Sam Bart, who helped me with the RVM campaign. Hired a cold caller. I ordered like 1,000 bandit signs, made a bandit sign hanger, and went and hung them bastards up. Like, I already knew if I did enough marketing that something was going to filter back in. The first lead I got was a house that I ended up making like every bit of $3,000 on a wholesale fee. And then I got a ranch that was over like 46 acres by Fort Worth, and I made $85,000 pretty quick. It took me like, I guess 8 days or something like that to get my first contract right away. Like 40 days to get my first deal like closed.
That's bananas. I don't really know anybody who goes that fast, but most people don't transition from another business into real estate. They're usually going from a 9 to 5, or they're going from nothing and then trying to get into it.
Yeah. So like I said, that's why I said I cheated, because I understood marketing very, very well. Like if you drop 10, 20, 30 grand, 50 grand on marketing, you'll make it back pretty quick, especially with the size of deals, right, that I saw were happening in real estate. So I went all in. I didn't quit my construction company though until about 2 years ago. So I did do real estate for, 3-ish years or something, 4-ish years before I dropped out of construction.
Damn. And so what gave you the best return? Was it PPC? Was it the mail? I don't think anybody does RVMs anymore. I don't know. You guys might.
Dude, I got all the way down to PPC and nothing else. So I ran about maybe, $3,000 to $5,000 a month for about 3.
Did you lose them, Dean?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah. We can hear you. So he said he got down to doing just PPC to get these land deals. So he's only doing land, right?
Bro, he's only doing land.
All right, let's pop back in here. Can you hear us?
Yeah, my phone rang, man. That was very disruptive just from a simple phone call trying to hit my phone. It's crazy.
All good. So we were just talking about you doing only PPC to find land deals. What kind of marketing were you doing on these PPC ads?
What kind of marketing?
Yeah, like how are you targeting them? Like what was your sales pitch? If you got land you want to sell, like sell me your land?
Dude, it's the easiest thing in the world. It's too funny. I'm gonna write a book called A 1 Minute Millionaire. It's gonna be 1 page long. It's gonna be $1. All I did was take a generic website from Carrot. On Carrot, they have a land specific page, right? So it's like $100 a month. I called Google, like got on Google, 1-800 Google number, called Google and said, hey, I need help with AdWords. I need to run some traffic. They built all my campaigns for me, turned it on, ran it to that Carrot site. All I did was got on the Carrot site and changed like the name and the phone number, and that was it. And I ran that for like 4 years or something. And I would say my worst year in real estate was like 200 or 300K or something. And that was just only with PPC and nothing else.
And Investor Carrot is amazing, though. For those of you guys who don't have it, I think it's the easiest, like plug and play into your business. Don't have to worry about it. It's okay if you have the same pictures as everybody else. Just change the title on it and adapt it to your company name. And so now, how much of your business is coming from like your community compared to like your paid marketing?
Dude, all of it now. All of it. So we pretty much have almost our paid marketing all the way turned off. And I'll let Daniel confirm if everything's all the way switched off. But we have 0 paid marketing going right now.
When did you turn it? When did you start to like see that you wanted to turn it off?
I would say about 6 months ago. Well, the idea for HiveMind, man, the original vision for HiveMind was to just be a marketing engine. That's all it was, a community-based marketing engine. So we trained the community, and then they would serve up the leads. We would go out and raise the capital. That was the original vision, and that's where we are now, exactly where we are now. The machine's cranking the leads. We JV with our students. We raise the capital for them, and then now launching that private equity fund to feed these deals. Because now we have unlimited deal flow. So you can't go out and raise $50 million or $100 million if you don't have at least like 3 to 5x that in deal flow. And right now we literally have unlimited deal flow. We could park 100 million and then still have more deals coming in.
How long has it taken for HiveMind to get this big, community-wise?
We're aiming February 4th will be 3 years.
That is nuts.
Yeah, so it's harder to brand Daniel Martinez, or it's harder to brand, your personal name, but you just take a logo and a cool name like HiveMind, and then it kind of, you have something to build around. So that was the idea. It's like we white labeled a GHL, right? We white labeled a CRM. The CRM is like, we wanted to have a mastermind, but nothing would stick you to a mastermind, right? People come and go. So if we had a CRM product, it's a little bit harder to pick up your CRM and take off somewhere else. So that was the idea, is like, let's build a real sticky product and build the brand around it. And everybody's like, oh, GHL sucks and my CRM is better. But the CRM was never the product. Right? The community is the product. And here we are now.
And bro, you guys were doing GHL white labels way before that was like a thing. Because I remember asking Daniel, like, bro, what, did you build this yourself? He's like, no, I just white labeled it on Go High Level. And that was way before it was cool to white label your Go High Level account and sell it off like a Podio.
Dude, we were I'm telling you, like, we had this dream mid-December and we launched February 4th. Like, this thing came to be in like 6 weeks after we thought of it.
So were you gonna say something, Dino?
Yeah, I was gonna say, tell me about Hive Mind. Tell everybody what Hive Mind is. You talked about it being a community, about it being a CRM, but like break it down a little bit more for us.
Man, I've always been like a sci-fi guy, right? And I'm really into like being a futurist, right? So I like to imagine what a future would be like. And then when I was a kid, I was addicted to video games, and I remember the coolest games I could think of, like Contra, where you're like on this like different planet and you're attacked by all these different aliens or something like that. And by the time you get to the center of the planet, it's all being run by one like super brain, right, or one central intelligence. So that was a piece of like part of the branding, is to say that I believe that even human beings, right, we're all connected to each other, telepathically, like chemically, electronically, just through like even like electrons, right? We're all sharing the same pieces of energy. So I like to think that if there is a lot of people contributing to one cause, that we would have unlimited resources, right? Unlimited knowledge. So that was the thinking behind it, is that if we can gather 10,000 people or more contributing to the same cause, then we've had infinite knowledge, infinite capital, infinite resources, infinite leads. And that's where we're headed, man. That's it. So every time somebody comes on board with their connections and their resources or the capital, their knowledge, I feel like the hive mind gets smarter every single day, and it gets richer every single day, becomes more wealthy. And we share that amongst the community the same way, like any kind of hive. They say like a beehive, and I'm like, no, like an alien nest. Right. So yeah, everybody that's in the community and working together with us on this thing gets to partake in what we're building, and everybody brings something unique to the table. And then we just feed the machine with leads, knowledge, and capital.
How did you guys grow the community?
Man, on Clubhouse, dude. So I mean, like literally on Clubhouse, we launched on February 4th, and we got in Clubhouse, and it was me and Daniel in the room by ourselves, like talking for like 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours with nobody in the room at all. And we would title it something cool like flip land, wholesale land, do a big land deal, $1 million land deal, 100,000 on your first deal, just different titles, live on Clubhouse every day, all day. And people, before you know it, it's 3 people in the room, 4 people in the room, 5 people in the room, 40 people in the room, 70 people in the room. And then we started growing our Facebook page and transferring our community to Facebook, and it kind of just took off from there organically.
Did you guys get out of Clubhouse before it died? Like, do you feel like you got all of it out of there that you wanted to? Yeah, for sure. We've made some incredible connections in there. Met a lot of good friends, got lots of resources. We learned a lot, and we're still connected to a lot of those people now. So yeah, we definitely got our money's worth from Clubhouse. I love it, man. I still love it. I think it was the coolest idea ever, to be able to connect people that have never connected before in any other way. But tell me about this. What are the splits you're giving the people who bring you deals? Like, how much equity are they actually retaining? It really depends, man, on what they're bringing to the table, right? So like this guy that brought us this 243-acre ranch, we're going to give him an $80,000 wholesale fee. After entitlements, if he brings a buyer, we're gonna give him like an additional 420. So we're trying to give him like $500,000, but he'll make no less than like 80 to 100 just for bringing the deal and doing nothing else. The guy didn't even know about land like 30 days before that. So so we try to get somebody, a new person, 50,000, 100,000, something to just wake them up and let them know that this is a real viable business. Damn. And so they essentially just wholesale it to you guys, and then you guys take it from there. That's it. Yep. And if they have capital to contribute or resources to raise capital, if they have any other knowledge in this business, like that they could help us complete the deals, then we can give them a lot bigger portion. But if they just straight bring us a deal and walk away, then we're still going to try to get them somewhere between like 50 and 150, something like that. Is the biggest one you've paid to a student 150? I would have to clear that with Daniel, man, but I would say it's probably about 100, something like that. That's wild.
What type of land deals are you doing? Is this new construction houses? Is this commercial? Like what type of land deals are you doing?
Again, man, it's just like path of least resistance, the easiest thing you could possibly think of. So you'll get like a 100-acre tract, and then you'll hire a surveyor to draw you out like 10-acre tracts, and then we just immediately sell those. We didn't do anything. We didn't put up fence. We didn't cut the grass. We didn't do nothing. Just hand out surveys and sell it, and boom, on to the next.
And what type of clients are buying these 10-acre tracts or whatever it is?
Retail end buyers, man. So people that own construction companies, they just want to have, chickens and horses and all that kind of stuff. So 100% retail end buyers. We don't have a buyer's list at all for to sell our deals to. We go straight to the
listing them on the market, or?
That and the Facebook Marketplace, that kind of stuff. Calling and texting agents.
Okay.
That's how we get the word out. Yeah, working with agents has
And
been amazing, man.
how are you finding the deals? You said they're 100-acre land tracts, whatever it is. Are you guys using some sort of data source to narrow the focus and do the marketing, or?
It's mostly coming from the community now, but I guess if we're training new people, yeah, we'll have them pull a list of like 50 and 100-acre tracts. Call those people, send mailers, that kind of stuff. I've never sent a mailer, by the way, but I know that's a good way to get land deals.
Yeah, I got a buddy, Joe McCall, who sends out postcards, and they go, the person who gets the postcard calls a pre-recorded message and has an offer on there, different stuff like that. But would you say you're dealing with a different clientele because you're looking at much larger amount of land rather than just 1 acre of land or anything like that?
No, man, I think they're all the same. Something that I would say is different is if you have a guy that has a 5,000 square foot lot or a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, that's one kind of person. But sometimes somebody's that's selling you a $3 or $5 million ranch, like they've probably owned it for 40 years. So this guy's been a millionaire his whole life. So I feel like these sellers are a little bit more reserved. They're a little smarter. They're not up for BS. So I would say that's the only difference that I've seen is that they're more intelligent sellers.
How are you getting such a good deal on it then? I feel like you're trying to flip houses in San Francisco.
Right.
So here's the thing. It's like moving these properties. Honestly, look, I'm gonna tell you a big secret right now. We're pulling these things off the MLS. So there's nobody walking around ready to stroke a check for $2 or $3 million. It doesn't exist. So these properties can be listed for a year, 2 years, 3 years. So the value that we provide is we come in and we tell the seller, hey, look, it's never going to sell for that price, right? So we'll give you like 50 cents on the dollar. We'll close you out quick. And they're like, well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to give it away. Okay, I can get you the full $3 million, but it's going to take me 6 months to a year. And if you're game, I'll get it done for you. That's it, man. Here, hold on to this 200,000 or this 500,000 while I go out and subdivide your land and sell it off for you. And then we just pay the seller off with their own property.
Once you get it entitled, essentially.
That's it, or whatever it is. Break it down into smaller tracts. Subdivide it, whatever that is. So we're taking a really, like, let's say you're taking a $5 million building, breaking it down into 20 or 30 pieces and selling it in chunks.
And are these all in, let's say, within an hour of a major metro?
Yeah, I would say the hour is probably the drop-off point. I'd like to be even closer than that, but I would say an hour I'm pretty much done, unless it's a really large tract, like a couple thousand acres, right? And we're getting a really good deal on it. But yeah, I would say closer to a major city, the better. So here's what I look at. If I would tell somebody like how to find a deal, just get on Google Earth or get in your car, drive to the edge of town where they're building neighborhoods, and then where the neighborhoods run out, you'll hit farms and ranches, and that's your killing ground right there.
And so what would be a major metro for you? Like, does it have to be, would Lubbock count?
No, I'm looking for like 1 million people or more. It's probably like a gross generalization of what works well for us. So in Texas, it's super easy. Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Austin, and San Antonio. And that's pretty much it. Those are our anchors. And then we'll look at stuff, like I said, like in Waco, Tyler, those smaller markets, but those are not typical for us. Like we bought 100 acres down by Corpus in a little town called Orange Grove. And it's taken me every bit of a year to sell like half of it, right? At like 8,000 an acre. So if you're going to play out in the sticks, then you just got to be careful because it'll just take a lot longer to move. And then your buy price has to be really, really low because you're going to have to sell it at a fire sale price to move it.
God damn. And how much are you buying per acre? Sorry, go ahead, dude.
I'll tell you,
No, you're fine.
I'll tell you what my biggest measuring stick is, right? So if you say how much you want to pay for acre, that's all over the place. But I'll tell you what I focus on is a 10-acre exit. Right. So as long as somebody sends me a deal for 40 acres or 400 acres, I want to know what the 10-acre tracts are going for. And that has to be a reasonable price. So if you send me a deal and I have to sell my 10-acre tracts at $75,000 an acre, nobody's going to come and pay $750 for a 10-acre tract. Right. Unless you're like pretty close to central Austin or, something Bernie by San Antonio, like these hot areas, McKinney by Dallas. Like so that's all I think about is what is my 10-acre exit? So before somebody sends us a deal, that's the first thing I'm going to check for. I'm willing to pay whatever I have to pay as long as there's room for me to sell a 10-acre lot at a fair price. So I would like to exit my 10-acre tracts like no more than like 350, 299. Once you start having to sell $500,000 10-acre tracts, the buyers just get more scarce. And again, it'll move. It just takes a lot longer.
Were you gonna say something, Dean?
Yeah, I was going to add. So there's another guy that I know here I met in San Diego, and he was telling me how his family in a particular state was going to the outskirts of town and was buying up all the land, all the farmland outside of that. And as the growth continued, they would entitle it and sell it to developers to develop houses, whatever it is they wanted to do. But they were just buying the land and selling it. And, they had built up tens of millions of dollars worth of money from doing that. So it sounds like a similar type of strategy. How much are you working with the city to, go through the planning part of that and like picking out which land to target? Are you running up against any issues with the city, or are you working with them? Is that part of your plan at all?
So this is another nugget right here, man. And this is Texas wide. I think there's about 18 states that do that this model follows. But as long as you sell tracts that are above 10.01 acres, nobody can tell you can't do it. The city, the county, nobody can tell you that you can't make that happen. So as long as you're cutting up big, large tracts of land, there's no barrier to entry. There's no red tape. You just hire the surveyor, have them drop 10-acre tracts and resell them suckers. Like sometimes we're sold out before we have to close.
Bro, that's wild.
Yep.
So when you say no one can tell you can't, does that mean no one can tell you can't sell the 10 acres, or no one can tell you what you can do on the 10 acres?
Yeah, you don't have to get permission from anybody as long as your tracts are above 10.01 acres. You don't have to do anything to the land. You don't have to develop it. No electrical poles, no water, no nothing. You just get a survey, turn around, and just sell your surveys. Like I said, sometimes we don't even see the properties. We don't cut the grass. We don't do nothing.
Bro, that's insane. How many of these people are carrying a note over a long period of time? Because I know that was another like land strategy for a bunch of people.
You get a mix, man. Like I had a guy refuse to take the cash. He says, I only want payments. And, so I've been giving him his monthly payments for a long time, no interest. Right now, what we try to do is we try to set it up for a very short-term balloon, like a 2-year balloon, something like that. Because we intend to pay these sellers off really quickly. Like we did 108 acres, that was our first big subdivide. We got it for like $1,074,000 for 108 acres. And we had a 2-year balloon on it. And we paid off that seller in 9 months by selling his own land, right? So we move pretty quick. Like I said, we have a pretty good, thorough understanding of marketing, online marketing. So we can sell these properties pretty fast for the most part. If you are going to get the city involved, like for entitlements, then, right now we have a tract that we got for $4.5 million for 15 acres. It's right on 1604, outer loop of San Antonio. And we are doing the entitlement process on that, drainage study, phase 1, all that kind of stuff. And then we have commercial buyers that are interested in it, right? So we have Lowe's taking a look at it and some other commercial entities that are looking at buying chunks from us. So we won't break ground on that one. We're just going to get it ready to break ground, get it entitled, and then start shopping that out to corporate buyers. The 243 acres, we are involved with the county, the Texas Department of Transportation, the electrical company, the water company, right? You got to get like utility service agreements before you can get permission to break ground. So somebody sends us a land deal and they say, hey, I've got this 50 acres and the seller wants $75,000 an acre because you could make a neighborhood here and the houses are going for a lot of money. That never works out because you don't know what the city's going to say or the county's going to say. Some areas don't have water, right? So just because of what could happen on that land, you can't really sell that dream. Like you have to, if you're going to force appreciation on the property, you really do need to take it through the entitlement process. You need to get your service agreements from the utility companies, that kind of stuff. So that's a whole different play. That's outside of what we normally do. We're going to start doing a lot more of it though. For this reason, right? This deal, we picked it up for $2 million. We were just going to sell all 10-acre tracts. And I think we were going to clear like 2 million or 1.9 or something. And then taking it through the entitlement process. Like I said, we're looking at selling it by marking the price up like $2.5 million. And then if it doesn't sell at that point, we're going to go ahead and start breaking ground. Like I got equipment coming to start clearing roads right now. So entitled or not, I'm going to start roughing in roads and clearing out roads And then total sales, we're looking at, if we break ground, throw in the road, throw in the water line and the electrical, then total sales are going towards 18 million. All right. So, we're looking at longer term plays and short term plays. So we're not shifting our business model, but we're just expanding on what we're already doing. And if it makes sense for us to, spend a couple million on infrastructure, if it's going to raise the profit 10 plus million, then we're going to stick with that.
Real quick, shout out Pat Hilton. If you don't like this show, then you don't like greatness. People that hate deal champs hate themselves. They generally root for the Emperor in Star Wars instead of rooting for the freedom of the galaxy.
I like Pat Hilton, man. He's cool. I've seen him play and sing. He's a wild man. He's cool, dude.
Bro, what is the average entry fee for one of these? What would the cost be? Do I got to go? Because I know for a storage deal, I'll be if I'm evaluating it, I'm all in $2,000 to $5,000 minimum.
Dude, I'm buying a $600,000 ranch right now with $5,000 down, 0% interest. This $2 million ranch we put down $460,000. That one I did in Grandview, I put down $10,000, made $85,000. We have one right now. We're negotiating 122 acres. We're talking about $2,500 worth of earnest money while we do the entitlements on it. So to get into them, man, you can get into them with $0, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000. It just all depends on what you negotiate, and then what the seller's mood is and what they're thinking on their end.
What about entitlements? How much are entitlements? And let's say I need inspections done.
A real small neighborhood, like maybe 10, 20 acres, you could spend $100,000, 50 acres. Mobile home park, you might spend $250 to $350. Estimate I got for this 243 acre subdivision, we're probably going to be in for $250 worth of engineering.
And at the beginning, were you guys just coming up with the cash to do that, or were you raising money?
Dude, no, we self-funded everything, bro, for all these years. And it was a mistake, man. Big mistake, right? Because if you're limiting how fast you can grow based on the amount of money that you're turning yourself and that you have in your own account, that's probably the biggest seasoned rookie mistake that you could make in real estate. I don't know if you know who Corey Thompson is, but he's mentored me since day one. Love the dude. He's spoken at every Hive Mind event. We have our annual events. And he sent me a link from Grant Cardone's audio YouTube. And the first thing in the morning, no context. He didn't say anything at all. And I don't even really like Grant Cardone. I think he's corny. But he knows marketing and business. And Corey loves the guy. So he sends me this link and Grant Cardone, how to get super rich. So I listened to the whole audio immediately, didn't ask any questions, about an hour long. And if I could condense that whole book into one sentence, he says pretty much you don't get rich by spending your own money and investing your own money. You get rich by investing other people's money. And then bam, complete mindset shift from there forward. And then now, so now we're aiming to raise $100 million fund. We received our first M from an investor that's worth every bit of about 500 M's. And this is just his experiment to see if our methods work. He sent us, $400,000. We sent him back $580K in 3 weeks. So that got him believing in us. So we're having more and more people that are starting to take notice of what we're doing and the kind of returns that we're getting. So it just makes sense for us now to start raising the capital. Because like I said, we have the deal flow side nailed. It's not, if you're doing apartments or commercial or storage, you'd be lucky if you can find, one good deal a month, right? And with land, we can find 100 good deals a month, no problem. And there's more coming.
Bro, it's true because storage wise, if you bought 10 storage facilities in a year, you're a fucking animal. You are,
it's a big organization. It's a big organization.
That is a massive organization, and the amount of overhead and due diligence and everything else that would take. Bro, where are you finding your investors? Where am I going to go to approach a dude with $500 million? Because I would love to go give him 30% returns on his money if I have access to that much cash.
It's doing smaller deals with a lot of people, and that was the Hive Mind's business model. So you meet one guy and you say, hey, can you throw in 50 or 100? He says, yeah, I'm good for 50 or 100. You give him back excellent returns in a faster amount of time than you originally anticipated. And also they did. And then they'll introduce you to their friends, and they'll introduce you to their friends. And then you'll start to see that there's a money ladder. There's usually one big guy right behind everybody that everybody kind of looks up to. So you do 1 or 2 or 3 small deals with this group, and they're like, hey, just FYI, we have a lot bigger wallet behind us if you guys can find more of these types of deals. And then they'll start to make those introductions for you. Just doing a lot of good, consistent deals and quick turnaround deals. So if you're doing entitlement plays or ground up stuff and you're completing a deal every 2 or 3 years, I think you'll struggle to raise capital. But if you can do a lot of smaller, quick deals, then I think that leads to a lot more relationships faster in the money world.
What does your team look like? Sorry, go ahead, dude.
No, you're fine. I want to find out about your buy box. So you mentioned you're ideally looking for no less than 10 plus acres. Is that correct?
I mean, right now we bought 5 acres, right? South of San Antonio. We're cutting it into 14 lots, and total sales on there might be like 300 or 350 profit on a 5-acre lot. So I would say just send everything. You know, anything could be a massive deal. Anything could be a massive deal. It just really depends on what it is and where it is.
Okay. And you're focused only in Texas, and you're saying there's more land deals available. Do you think it's just because Texas is so big and the growth is so high there as to why there's so much opportunity?
Exactly. You probably have like the most land available, right, of any other state in the country. Less red tape, right? Less bureaucratic, like not like California or New York or something. So very entrepreneurial friendly. And then the explosive growth, and there's no sign of us stopping. And I think San Antonio has like the highest GDP in the country right now. So, you know, just anything in Texas is killing.
And then did you have like a bread and butter type of like use case for that land, or is it every single land deal is going to be a different end buyer, a different type of asset that's going to go on it, and you're having to kind of learn and as you go, or do you have like a template that you kind of follow?
Dude, you just go to the edge of town, like I said, right past the neighborhoods that are going up, agricultural, unrestricted land at a fair price. And it's the same end buyer every time. They're construction company owners. They're blue collar guys, man. Zero investors. Nobody's going to throw up apartments. Nobody's going to throw up a housing development. Nothing. It's all just blue collar workers that want to have chickens and goats, and that's it. And shoot guns. Lots of shooting guns.
But like, you're not selling this to like DR Horton though?
Never,
Like,
never,
like
bro. No developer buyers, no investor buyers, nobody. This is all blue collar end buyers, man.
And are a lot of them paying cash for them, or are they financing them, or what are they doing?
Most all pay cash, and then we offer seller financing as well. But these guys are cash heavy, man. Somebody just bought 8.5 acres from us for I'm gonna guess, but it's somewhere like between 300,000 and 400,000 last month. Just one guy, him and his dad.
Well, that's nuts.
Cash, dude. Close in 14 days, dude. I mean, quick close.
Because my biggest thing is like, we got to find developers to sell these things.
Right.
We have zero corporate buyers. Like I said, we don't have any buyers list. Zero. It's funny when I hear people argue about how big their buyers list is. We have zero buyers list. We just talk to the general public. We talk to agents, and we sell direct to end buyers. So you sell to an investor, right? Me and Daniel laugh about this. You sell to an investor, and you're giving yourself 2 pay cuts. Right. So you're giving yourself a pay cut from yourself to the investor, right? Because they pay you a fee. And then the investor turns around and forces appreciation and pays themselves. So you're losing twice when you have a buyer's list. And us, we just sell to the direct retail end buyers. A lot of times we sell above comps. So agents will reach out to us, or buyers will reach out to us and say, hey, you're never going to sell that for that much. Nothing's ever sold for that in that area. And then we laugh, hang up on them, and then we immediately sell it for the price that we were asking for. So we're always creating new comps everywhere that we go. Let's say we have a tract that's $100,000 and somebody wants to seller finance. We sell it to them at like a 30 to 35% markup. So we're selling far beyond comps, way beyond comps, like 30 to 40% beyond comps, you know, almost every single time. So it's a better game when you're selling direct to the end buyers.
Is it because you're seller financing, you said?
Yeah, if we seller finance, our price goes way up, way up, like 30 to 35% on the low side.
What type of note are you carrying? Like, what are you making them bring to the table?
10% down, no less. We're aiming for 20% now with the market that shifted this year. We were doing 10%. Now we're at 11.99, and we'll do 30 years, no balloon.
Do you need an RMLO to underwrite that or no?
Technically, you don't, right? Because it's not exactly homestead. It's land. So, you know, there's some gray area there, but we just RMLO everybody. We just don't want to have any question when we have $1 billion fund running. We don't want anybody to be able to come back and comb out our books and say, hey, you guys, you know, you did bad in 2024.
And so now the goal with the fund is $1 billion.
We called it 100 million just to have a nice round number. But man, I've looked at subdivisions. I've looked at financials on 100-acre subdivisions, like for 150, 160 million. So I think $1 billion is a small number, right? Because it's just a handful of subdivisions. But we just toy with big numbers just because it's a cool space to be in and it's fun to talk about and it sounds silly on the podcast.
I don't know, bro. If you can keep ripping off as many, if your deal flow is the same and you have all the money, there's like nothing else holding you back? Because I'd say the number one hardest part with most people is good deal flow when you get into bigger deals. Like there's not lots of good deals you can go into and buy, or else everybody. I mean, fuck, bro. Like I could not find that many storage deals. For sure, couldn't find that many multifamily deals. Even dudes buying businesses can't find that many good deals. Besides, probably a dude named Kyle Milan to go raise $100 million and just pop it out and burn through it.
Yeah, and that's why we fell in love with land, man. I saw the vision. It's like if you're dealing with physical structures, right? Eventually they're going to run out, or you'll reach saturation in the market, and that hurts your rentals and it hurts your whole portfolio. But with us, like I mean, there's just unlimited land, like I said, and heading in every single direction around every major Texas city. So if you just get in your car and drive, there's just more inventory underneath your tires forever. You just never run out. So that's why we love this space, man. You know, I have a friend that him and his dad list ranches for hundreds of millions, $100 million ranch, $200 million ranch. So I don't think a B is a lot of money in the land world.
What does your team look like?
Man, this is the coolest part about everything, man. This is what I'm not really like a spreadsheets guy. We don't set quarterly goals and annual goals. All that's crap. What fascinates me, man, is the way that the people are coming into the machine, right? So they take a look at what we're doing. They find out about us, through some channel. We have like 500 pieces of content going out a week, automated, right, through the system. But people show up and they just work, man. It's funny. So I know Daniel has a handful of employees of VAs. I don't even know how many he has back there, but people that work on graphics full time, that kind of stuff. I would say we have like 5 to 7 VAs or so. And then on my side, I have 3 full-time employees that work 40 hours a week. And then, of course, a lot more because I hit them up at nights and weekends and all that kind of stuff. And then the rest is just the machine. We put everybody on a spreadsheet that contributes to the machine, like at some aspect, like selling the ranches, running numbers, dispo, everything. There's about 30 of us right now that are like I would consider an internal team. But people aren't on payroll, right? Everybody's all commission-based. So it's like, as time goes by, the machine's getting bigger and bigger by people that are voluntarily contributing. Like, they don't even know if they're getting paid or not. They're just contributing to the machine to see it grow because they believe in it. And it's amazing, man. It's really amazing to watch what's happening.
So what are your full-time employees doing? Like the 3 people, what are they doing?
One, she just manages my CRM. Like I literally don't ever log into my CRM, not once ever. So she handles all of it. And if anything's important where she needs me, she'll just send me a screenshot and say, hey, how do I respond to this? What do I tell this person? So she's doing that. And then one of them's my nephew, and he does a little bit of everything. Like he's working on a lead sheet. So I have a friend that's running leads from a call center, and he's just sending them to that team. So it's my nephew that's running that. So he's running comms, making offers, doing all that kind of stuff to just service that one campaign. And then the other one's my sister. She's my full-time admin. So she's my stunt double. Like she's on all my bank accounts. She's on everything. She's a signer for me. Anything and everything that I would need to do. Like if I got to physically get in the truck and go drive somewhere to drop something off or pick something up, that's her. So that's my personal team that's around me. And then the rest, like I said, they're like salespeople that go out and actually show the properties, get contracts, send it over to title, all that stuff.
How long did it take you to get close enough with your sister to trust her that much?
Man, I'll tell you, from day one, she was working corporate at Burlington Coat Factory and Ross. And then she got kind of fed up with that life after like 14 years in management. And then she went to like some kind of dental program and got a certification like in a year. And she came to my place and we were just talking. She's like, man, it's disgusting. I don't want to do it. And here I am, like buried to my neck in paperwork. I'd get up like at 4 or 5 in the morning, start contracts, go out, work all day, come home, finish contracts, go to bed like at midnight or 1, and then start the day over. So I had saved up a significant amount of cash, and I was doing everything myself. So I was like, I just need you to come on board. I was like, I don't even know how much I could pay you. So we never agreed on an hourly. We never agreed on a salary, nothing. Like, I just need you to work and your life will go good. And so ever since she started, man, like sometimes, like I said, sometimes we didn't have enough cash to pay her sometimes. And she just kept on working and working. So I just connected her to everything. Like, here, just whatever you need, there it is. So I would say from the very beginning, really, we just kind of decided like, hey, let's do this together. And we built it up from a construction company now to a real estate company.
Damn. For the people who are getting paid commission, are they just getting paid out of escrow? Like you're just telling the escrow company like, hey, pay this guy. So that way it doesn't even have to do 1099s or anything like that?
It's a mix of everything, man. Honestly, it's a mix of everything. Yeah. So some people we personally pay, again, same thing. Like maybe somebody's not on the paperwork. But yeah, a lot of times their check would just come from title, that kind of stuff.
Talk about some of your big losses that we were talking about beforehand.
I would say the biggest loss is probably that 350K dude Otis, right? Just dumb. He I didn't even know who he was. I met him at a real estate meetup, and then we just became Facebook friends. And he was doing big land, I was doing big land, and he flew. He's like calls me. He's in Dallas. He's like, hey, I'm gonna come down and see you. He comes down, sees me, sells me on this big dream about what he can bring to the table if we really started to scale this land game. So I just took it for granted. Like, it's cool. We're doing the deal. Everything's moving along. He funds the deal and closes it with the lender, and then he didn't add us to the closing docs, but he's like, don't worry, I'm gonna send you guys 350,000, all good. And yeah, now we're suing the dude for the money. So that was a big loss right there, that 350. I sent 120,000 non-refundable for a deal, maybe like in September or something, on some lots down south of San Antonio. And I ended up closing a day late. And the guy's trying to keep 120,000 non-refundable.
Oh, they'll
So,
do it too, bro.
yeah,
They don't give a
yeah.
fuck.
So now I'm suing for that. Like I said, we threw in
Did
probably.
you guys end up
50K
closing on it too?
I closed on it. I closed that day, a day late, and he said he's not going to close. So there's a lawsuit. Yeah, and then like I said, we threw down like 25K and 50K on two big ranches this year that we ended up not pursuing after doing more due diligence on them. But we offer non-refundable, man. We offer non-refundable cash all the time, and I'm still going to continue to use that same business model because the upside's so tremendous. But yeah, I want to say we dropped like 75K in earnest money this year on deals that we didn't pursue at all. So just losses like that, man. So it's nothing tremendous, right? Like where you have to turn in $200 million worth of apartment complexes. But those little 10, 20, 30K hits, they still hurt along the way as you're trying to grow a business.
So in the due diligence phase, what went wrong that you backed out on that deal?
It's just certain things, man. Like if you're down a certain type of road and size of road, and that affects the density of that land. So if you say, hey, we're going to do 5-acre tracts or 2.5-acre lots, and then you can't get that much traffic down that road, or just little things like that. There's not as much water availability as you thought there was going to be. Little things like that would hit it. One that we did in Fredericksburg, Texas, there was a neighborhood right next to us and across the street, and they weren't going to give us any water at all, not from the city. And so we said, that's cool. We'll just do groundwater, no groundwater. So that deal was a bust, right? And that's something that we probably could have took a closer look at before offering non-refundable earnest money. But we're just really aggressive when we buy and we see something that looks like it's going to work. We just go all in. And I think that's why the sellers go with us. I got 3 other offers and I'm talking to 10 people. And we're like, well, is that other guy going to send you $50,000 the day you sign the contract? Of course not. They got to wait till all this other crap. Like, well, we're going to send you $50,000 the day you sign the contract. And they're just like, okay, well, I'm going to go with you guys. You guys are dead serious, right? So we're going to continue to still operate that way, man. But I guess, you just got to kind of write in some of those losses like that.
Okay. And just to be clear, when you say you're sending it to them, you're sending it to escrow, right? Or you're like, no, like, here's a big dick.
Straight to their bank account, bro.
What?
Yep.
Bro.
That's how we get
Bro.
Dude.
I mean, that'll get someone more excited for sure.
Bro, I'm selling the fucking piece of property now.
That's how we get. That's how we get deals.
Is it just part of the contract, or is there like a separate agreement for it, or what do you do before you do that?
No, it'll come right off the sell price. So if it's $1 million, hey, I'm gonna send you 50,000 tomorrow. Balance to be paid at closing, 950. We do it all the time, bro. That's how we knock wholesalers off the table. They're like, I got 2 other offers that are better than yours. Like, for one, you don't know if that guy's gonna close. You don't know if it's a real offer, but I'll send you 25 grand tomorrow with my signed contract, straight to your bank account. Let's do it, Anthony. It's just a dirty way to just get deals, man. It really beats out the competition.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's different. That's different for sure.
And we've always operated like that, man. And I learned it from the roofing business, from construction, right? Because if I'm going to try to win a roof, or I'm going to make 100 grand or 200 grand, well, it's a race to get there, right? Storm happens, hail falls. It's a commercial building, roof's leaking. I show up with my guys and $10,000, $20,000 worth of roofing material, and we get that roof to stop leaking in the next hour or 2. Done. And now you got that job. So you go meet the insurance company, you extract the capital. But I've got 10, 20, 30 grand into that property before I ever, lift a finger on it. But now that seller, that property owner's committed to you, right? They're like, hey, I got to give this guy the job. He came out and saved my ass. So same mindset with land. It's like, hey, if you're bidding against me on a ranch, I'm going to make my offer look a lot more attractive because I'm willing to take that big risk to get the deal.
Bro, that's nuts. So Are you guys running into more competition now from wholesalers and stuff?
Nope, not at all, man. And again, for that very reason, like I got 3 offers right now sitting on top of my table. Does any of those 3 offers are probably fake offers? Just FYI, we teach them about wholesaling too. They're probably the fake offers, and you don't know if they're going to close or not. So you're more than welcome to go with those if you have those warm and fuzzies with that person. But do any of those contracts happen to say that they're going to send you $50,000 the day you sign the contract? Just curious. No, none of them say that. Then they're not real contracts, sir. Place them into the garbage can. Yeah.
Bro,
That's pretty wild.
That's pretty wild. I don't know. I love putting your money where your mouth is, but your upside on these are huge, though.
Yeah,
like
there's no little deals, man. If we can't make like 100, we're not even going to look at it. We typically don't go after stuff where we're going to make 10 or 20 grand or something. It just for that reason, if you lose 10 grand or something didn't work out, and now you got to lower your profit, or something weird comes out on the land, then it's just not worth pursuing anymore, right?
Even Edgar Trios says Anthony is savage sending 50K like that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do it again, dude. We'll do it again over and over again. It's just our business model. It's like, and yeah, like you said, there's enough in there to make something happen. Like we'll make 1.1 on 2 deals. So if we lose earnest money of 25 to 50 grand 2 or 3 times, 4 times, it doesn't even affect your bottom line at the end of the year.
That's fair. So you said you're having a lot of deal flow with land. Tell me about what that's like. Like, how much deal flow is there? How much deal analysis are you doing? What kind of bandwidth does that take? Like, what's that whole process look like for you?
I guess I'm not exactly underwriting the deals. All I'll do is I'll ask for a link. It's a company called Landglide, and it's like a maps app. So I'll just open it up. Yeah, I can see the shape of the parcel. I can see the topography. I can check flood zone. I'll measure like distance to the next major city, to the next highway. I can get the size and shape of the lot all in like 5 minutes or so. And then I'll just ask the wholesaler, hey, what are they trying to sell it for? And if I don't know if it's a good deal or not, if I'm not familiar with the area, I'll ask them to go find comps, find me some 10-acre comps and send it back. So I'm doing like no due diligence up front, maybe like 2 to 5 minutes per deal. And then how many deals are we getting? I mean, we might get 10 or 20 in a day, man. And if it gets that overwhelming, then I'll just kick it back to my team. So I have quite a few realtors on the team. They'll run comps. Daniel's pretty good at running numbers, and I think he enjoys it a little bit. He's a numbers guy. But yeah, I don't invest too much time or energy into running comps at all. I'll just by the time somebody sends me something, they have a pretty good idea of that's in our buy box. And also like creative, right? So we're looking to find stuff like I'll prioritize a deal if we're going to get in with 10% down or 5% down or 20% down, before a cash deal. So somebody says, hey, this guy wants $5 million for this ranch and the price looks amazing. I'm less interested in that deal because I know with those $5 million, I could put down 1 to 500,000 and buy 20 ranches with that same $5 million. So that's the game.
So you're just looking at a yield on the capital, essentially.
That's it, man. So we're going to raise this fund, right? We'll raise $100 million. The first 10 right now that's coming in, we're not trying to spend 10 on a ranch. Right. I was talking to a guy about one yesterday that's $7 million, and I offered them 20% down, and that's it. Or I'm not buying it at all. Right. So I'll go look at that one tomorrow, Thursday. Sorry. So these are the types of things that we're looking for. Is like no matter how much of a great deal it is, I want my entry to be as little as possible, somewhere between 5 and 10%, 5 grand down, 10 grand down, like minimum that we can get in. So that way that 10 M's goes into, like I said, maybe 20 or 30 ranches, as opposed to just dropping 10 into 1 or 2 properties. Sends me a commercial property for $2 million. Like, less interested. Like, what is the seller going to offer me to take on the burden of his property? I know he can't sell it to anybody else. What's my reward for going in here? And maybe that's zero out of pocket. Maybe that's a seller holding the land while I pay for the entitlements or do some development to force appreciation on the property. And then we'll pay him off after we sell the property, as opposed to us just coming in heavy with cash. It just, even when we have $100 million, we're still not going to buy that way. It's never been our business model.
I like it, though. Makes sense. Dino, you got any more questions, bro?
I'm just intrigued. I guess I'm trying to remember, go back to the beginning. Did you say you were doing wholesaling real estate and all that stuff before? Or you were in construction, you heard about wholesaling, and then you got into the whole land thing? So have you ever done houses?
I've remodeled houses as a construction worker. When I was a kid with my dad, working with my dad's remodeling company, we flipped houses. But for myself, I would say we've probably wholesaled and flipped like less than 10 houses in 5 or 6 years.
So it's always been land, pretty much.
That's it, man. Like I said, I got a big land win early. That was kind of where my interest was anyway, because I was looking to buy land. And then I just saw the types of money people were making. So I flipped houses before, literally, in my career. So I know that after 3 to 6 months, you make a whole 40 or 50 grand, right, on a flip. But, in land, I'm seeing people turning 50 grand, 100 grand, several 100,000 just for signing a handful of documents. I was like, okay, this is a no-brainer. If I can make the same amount of money or more without lifting a finger in the construction world, then I'm game, right? Because I've been in construction my whole life. I'm a licensed general contractor, home builder, never built a home, but I've been licensed forever. So just walking into like Lowe's and Home Depot makes me sick. Like this just smells terrifying now. Man, I'm just done with it, bro. I'm done with that part of my life.
Well, what's the competition like that you go up against? Is it like a lot of people, or is there just very little competition? Because
there's zero competition, bro. We're pulling these deals off the MLS. This deal we just bought, this freaking $2 million ranch, was on MLS for like 6 months. There's no competition. And then there's less competition with capital, right? You might run across some wholesalers, but they're not well capitalized wholesalers. So really easy to just sweep them off the table, knock those players off the table.
what would you say the learning curve is for somebody who's like, oh man, I'm wanting to get started, or maybe someone who's done some deals, right? Like most of our listeners are probably going to be in the single family type space. What's the learning curve like? Is there a big learning curve? Is it super simple, easy to understand, paper napkin type knowledge? Or
dude,
what would you
again,
say?
like new people are making 50 grand, 80 grand, right? And on a wholesale fee, selling the deal to us. And then if they're working with us, there is no learning curve. Like get on the MLS, call a bunch of agents, and get me on the phone with them. And that's it. Done. There's nothing to learn. And then they can learn as they go through a deal. Like you can get a deal tomorrow. What would stop you from getting the deal tomorrow?
Yeah. What's the typical average timeline to kind of turn around on your typical type of deal? If you find it, you get it under contract. What's the process from getting it under contract to turning it into money in the bank? What's that typically look like?
3 to 6 months on a subdivide.
Okay. And that's primarily because you're working with the city, you're having to get it entitled or getting it subdivided, like you said, doing something to basically prepare it to be able to be sold.
We can
That's it. And for the most part, it's just surveys, right? So, like I said, I mean, you can get surveys back in 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And like I said, sometimes we're sold out before the surveys come back.
Yeah.
So,
So you're probably marketing it beforehand.
As soon as we go under contract, I'm starting marketing. And my contract says I have the right to market it and show buyers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. You got me. You got my wheels spinning over here.
Bro, I'm sold. I'm fucking sold.
They're cool deals, man. Like we're aiming to buy 1,000 acres this year, but I'm sure we'll far surpass that based on what we already have offers out on and that kind of stuff. It's a cool unlimited space to be in, completely unsaturated. People are afraid of it. Sellers don't know how to sell the property. Agents don't know how to sell the property. Brokers don't know how to sell the property. Ranch brokers don't know how to sell these properties. So we just come in with specialized knowledge and guns blazing. It's such an easy niche to move in and grow in.
Got me all excited over here.
I'm sold. I'm sold. I'm ready to send people 100K EMDs for no reason. I'm ready.
Well, when you find those deals, let us know. We'll partner with you. We'll send the cash.
There we go. Sold again.
It's like we don't have enough time to just sit on the phone and just bang phones all day. So if somebody brings us a deal, yeah, and if it's a good deal, we'll put up the earnest money, we'll put up everything, we'll put up the engineering money, whatever.
So I think you already said it, but someone who's listening to this and just got like the biggest fire behind their butts and they're like wanting to take action. I think you already said it, but what is something that somebody could do tomorrow to potentially put themselves in front of a deal to then present to you so that you could evaluate it and tell them whether it's a deal or no deal?
I would download the Landglide app link. That helps a lot. And then just go to like Zillow, Google, anything. What we do is you picture like a donut, right? So let's say Bexar County, San Antonio, and then you have all the counties that are surrounding it, right? Crop out the middle county where everybody's killing each other to get deals. So just completely take out Bexar County, get the counties that are around it, all around it, and then just grab Zillow, Google, anything, and say land for sale in X county. And you can use filters, 10-acre tracts, 20-acre tracts. You can go days on market. So start like at stuff that's been listed for a year and better, and just start calling those agents and say, hey, we're interested in your property. And then see what they're up to. Say, what does your seller think about the price? Why do you think it hasn't sold? Tell me what's good about this property and what's bad. Would your seller consider taking 10 or 20% down and let us pay off in a year or two? Those types of basic questions. They say, yep, price looks good. Seller's down to work with you guys for a year or two, and that's it. So we have a new term we coined We're not looking for motivated sellers because none of these sellers are motivated. They're rich. They've been rich forever. We're looking for motivated agents. So we're looking for agents that are just sick of this listing already and they've had it forever. And once you get the agent on your side, it's a done deal. That's it, man. Yeah, go to Google, go to Zillow or something, and find some raw land and call those people. They're already listed. They're already advertising, saying they need help, and nobody's going to come buy them. Nobody's going to come save them. If you talk to them today, it's still going to be listed in 6 months or in a year.
Yeah. So that being said, it's going to be listed still in 6 months to a year. No one's coming to save them. What is it about that property you're making unique? You're just repackaging it in a better package that's making it feasible for some other buyers to then come buy it. Is that it?
That's it. So again, think about what percentage of the U.S. population can stroke a check for $3 to $5 million. Would you guess?
Yeah, I mean,
less
than 1% of 1%. Yeah,
right. So, but how many of the population out there can stroke a check or get a loan for $199 or $249 to buy a ranch? It goes up tremendously, right? Maybe 50% or something.
Yeah.
So now your buyer's pool is infinite, right?
Yep.
So that's all we're doing. Yeah, just buying. Like I said, you go out and buy a $20 million shopping center and then just cut it up into 100 pieces and then resell it, right? So that's all we're doing is just buying a very large asset, or at least getting control of it through an option or earnest money, something, and then taking it and chopping it up and repurposing it and taking it down into the smaller bite-sized pieces.
Question for you. I might have missed it, but does Anthony only buy in Texas, any other states?
Man, I mean, we've bought in Arizona and Florida. We're looking in other markets, but if somebody really wants to get their first deal and learn this business, just go straight to Texas. This is where all of our investors are. We know that for damn sure the land's going to sell quickly and it's high in demand. And so it takes out a lot of the guesswork. So if you're not in land already, there's no point for you to start looking in, Arkansas when you can just send us some in our own backyard. And like I said, usually I can tell you what the comps are without even looking them up. So if somebody sends me some land west of Houston or, southeast Austin, like I already know what the comps are without even looking at it. So if they want to learn this game, just play where we're already playing. We already have the capital. We already have the resources. The land's blowing up. It's super high in demand. So why would you want to guess what new markets would respond to this type of deals?
Now I know Texas is mostly flat, right? But there are some hills here and there, especially like West Austin and different places like that. Are you looking for mostly flat land? I know you said agricultural unrestricted, but I know there's also desert dry dirt in Texas too. Are we looking for like plush, lots of grass, flat land, or like what's the terrain typically look like on the deals you're buying?
So we're good with hill country, right? Like I'm looking at, under 20 acres for $500K right now. Like that's worth over at M. I hope to sign that one like in a week or two. And that's all hills, right? Almost like 80% hills. Only thing you have to be careful about is you want to check your topography, right? With the land glide link or something similar. And to make sure you're just not buying something on the side of a hill, right? So somebody sends you something and it's like, you can see the contour lines on the topography map. And it's the 90-foot drop off over 100 feet walk or something. It's just you can't build anything there. You can't do anything with it. So that's very rare in Texas, but you will find it. You have to just kind of check on it. But yeah, it's pretty flat. It doesn't have to be lush green grass and trees and all that stuff. We can buy right now. We're looking at a lot of sand lots, right, where it's just pure sand on the floor, like beach sand. So and there's almost no grass at all, just like strange vegetation and flowers. So every deal is unique, man. Like, we can pretty much do any. I bought junkyards. I bought properties that needed $100,000 worth of cleanup. So there's pretty much anything can be a deal. And I think the only way to get good at identifying deals is just to practice, just look at a lot of deals. And that's probably the most valuable part of all of this is training your eye to find what a good deal looks like, because it's not as, I guess, cut and dry as a house where you see it's in terrible shape. You get it for 50 cents on the dollar. It's going to cost you $100,000 to remodel it. That kind of stuff. With land, you just have to really know what a good deal looks like just by seeing enough of them. So like that deal we did last month where we picked up for 4 and sold for 8. It's like if I hadn't been trained, I wouldn't. If you would have sent me that price of deal for that many acres, I would have laughed at you. But for me, just seeing enough deals, I knew that was a monster deal. That one we're picking up for 500, hopefully in a week or two. I know it's worth double, but I sent it to somebody today and they said it looked like a so-so deal. And I'm like, dude, that's a $600,000 win. So just knowing what to identify by just looking at a lot of deals, I think is the game.
Turn back around the part.
For sure.
Damn. All right, I'm stoked. I gotta go pull some lists.
No matter
Right.
who it
Pull
is,
some
no
lists
matter what
today.
you're doing in real estate, no matter what niche you're in, no matter what you're after, no matter what your end goal is, right? If it's cash flow, we're cash flowing fine. No matter what, I would say section off 10, 20, 30, 50% of your marketing just for land only. And eventually, yeah, you'll get one that's tremendous. One of my students is going to make over $1 million on his first deal. So, I would say add some sort of land to your marketing. You don't have to quit what you're doing or shiny object syndrome and change your niche
No,
completely.
I'm all
but,
in.
Yeah.
I'm all in. I'm
Quit
about the
Full
sales
send.
pitch. Full
I've-
send. I'm about the sales pitch.
I would say, yeah, anybody that's listening, 10%, 20% of your marketing, just gear it towards land, and you'll hit a deal so big that it'll just change your mind about real estate entirely.
Bro. Well, thank you so much for coming on, bro. Where can people find out more about you, find out more about HiveMind?
HiveMind, Anthony, everywhere. Just look everywhere. Facebook, TikTok, Google, YouTube. We have a big YouTube channel. We have almost 500 podcast episodes. Things are going pretty well, man. But yeah, anywhere you look online, you just go to Google and put HiveMind Anthony. You'll find us. HiveMind Daniel.
Bro. Thank you so much for coming on, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Go show HiveMind some love. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And we will talk to you guys next week. Talk to you soon.
Peace.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was awesome. Appreciate you.